Hey, seventh graders. Let's talk about Earth. Now, a lot of the things that I'm going to discuss today, we've talked about in the third quarter, but we didn't get really into detail into these things. So what I want to do is start with the big picture today, and then we'll move on to the details. The topic is Earth. Earth has four major systems that make it what it is. Now, Earth, first of all, is a very complex system. It's a complex system of basically four interacting things. And I want you to commit these things to memory, okay? The four things that make up the complex system we call Earth are rock, water, air, life. Again, rock, water, air, life. Okay, and it's made up of four major systems. The four systems are Geosphere, Hydrosphere, Atmosphere, and Biosphere. Those are the four systems that make up Earth. Let's start with the Geosphere. Now, geo means Earth, okay? So it's the sphere of Earth. The Geosphere, though, is made up of the physical things that make Earth what it is. First of all, there's the metallic core. The core of the Earth is by and large made up of metals. And so scientists say that it is made up of a metallic core. Next, we have solid rock, which makes up other layers of the Earth. And we'll talk more in detail about the layers of the Earth and what we call them later on in this unit. So there's metallic core, there's solid rock, there's molten rock, there's soil, and then there are sediments. So five things that make up the geosphere: metal core, solid rock, molten rock, soil, and sediments. The second part or major system of the Earth is hydrosphere. Now, you guys probably already know that hydro means water, right? Well, the hydrosphere is water in all of its forms, not just the liquid water that we typically think of when we hear water. It's all of its forms, including ice, snow, right? Vapor, gases, the clouds, and then, of course, liquids. Liquids that we see in our oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, ponds. But there's also liquids in our soils as well, and then deeper in our soil in what we call groundwater. So that's the hydrosphere. The atmosphere is a mixture of gases that surrounds us. And those gases, if we didn't have those gases, obviously we wouldn't survive. And when we think of the gases that surround the Earth and those things that are vital to our organs and to our life, we think of air, right? What is the air made up of? Is it just oxygen? No, it's other gases as well. It's the surrounding gases that surround the Earth. Okay, and that's the atmosphere, mixture of gases surrounding the Earth. And the fourth is called the biosphere. Now, bio means life. Bio means life. So it's the living things found in many parts of the other spheres of the Earth. It's life found in the geosphere, in the hydrosphere, and in the atmosphere. And we are a part of that biosphere. We are all a part of that biosphere, and we can do a lot of things that impact all four of those spheres. When we get into this unit a little deeper, we'll talk about those influences that we have, both negative and positive, on the Earth's atmosphere and on the Earth itself. Now, all of Earth's processes, all of the processes, the things that take place in the Earth are the result of energy flowing and mass cycling within and between the Earth's systems. Energy flowing and mass cycling within and between those systems that we talked about, of those four systems of the Earth. So, Earth's energy, you may ask, where does Earth's energy come from? It comes from two major sources. The first is the sun, and the second is the Earth's interior. And this flowing and cycling that I referred to produces chemical and physical changes in Earth's materials, and changes in living things, including you and I as well. And again, we'll get into details of that as we get deeper into this unit. one of the elements that makes up most of the earth, and we can find it in most of the living organisms and non-living things that make up the earth, is carbon. And carbon is constantly cycling within Earth's systems of rock and water and living organisms and fossil fuels. What are the fossil fuels? We've talked about those. Those are oil and coal and natural gases. And Earth gains and loses energy from these things that are cycling. Well, first of all, it gains and loses energy from incoming radiation from the sun. That's the gaining of energy. In 8th grade, we're talking about different forms of light that come from the sun, and one of those is radiation. And so when we gain radiation from the sun, we're gaining energy from the sun. But we lose energy in the form of heat too, into space. Over time, especially in the spring and the summer seasons, the earth warms up, it heats up. And then over time, it can only take so much of that heat. And so it releases that heat back into the atmosphere. And the releasing of heat is what we call cool, right? So when the temperatures are cold, actually, it's not the gaining of cold, it's the losing of heat. And then the third thing, way that we can either gain or lose energy, is from gravitational forces from the sun and the moon and the planets in our solar system. So that's the Earth in the big picture. The next video is going to be on the second half of this topic of the Earth as a complex system. So be sure to watch the first half of the video on Earth. You could watch both the first and the second half and then come back and watch the second video that I have for you. But at least this gives you sort of like a lesson of being in class this way, okay? So good luck. Take good notes.